So welcome back to my new video. So in this video, I will be discussing about agents in LLM. So what I have learned and what are the exciting features about agents. I think agents is one of the most exciting features of Langchain. Now, before we discuss about agents, we will first try to understand about chains, and then once we have understood about chains, we will go to the next step, and that is discussing about agents. Now, please remember that we are still like having all the discussions about Langchain. Langchain is one of the very important library for accessing and manipulating LLMs. So please check my previous videos to know more about the basics of LangChain. So I will assume that you have a basic understanding of LangChain. Even if you don't have an understanding of LangChain, but still you should be able to get started and understand the agents in LangChain. Now, let me just add here the topic which we will be discussing. So we will be discussing about agents. Now see, when what I have known and what I have learned about agents in LangChain is that one is we have a chain, and a chain is nothing but a sequence of actions. Each action is defined. So let me just explain in this way. We have this chain, and each chain comprises of a set of actions. Like we have action 1, then we have action 2, action 3. So in this way we have all the different actions which we can perform, and these actions have to be performed in a particular sequence. Like first we will execute action 1, then action 2, and action 3. Now this chain is a generic concept. Like when we talk about chain, it is a generic concept. This chain can be a chain of events in Node.js, or a chain of actions. Like any generic chain can belong to this category or the concept we are discussing. But when we talk about LLMs, it is a totally different concept which I will be discussing soon. So for now, let us understand the basic concept of a chain. So what I have learned in LLM and LangChain is that a chain is a sequence of actions, and we as developers define what sequence of actions we need to perform. So it is we who place the actions in a particular sequence. So for example, action 1 can be load document from a CSV file. So load dataset from a CSV file. This can be our action 1. And action 2 will be like parse the document which we have fetched from action 1. And action 3 can be sort the document or data set like from action 2. So it is a chain of actions which we are executing one action at a time. So that way, so action 1 is executed first, and then we have action 2, and then we have action 3, and then we have the final result. Now in this way, so let's say we will we will assume that the action 3 is nothing but we are sorting the data set. So first we are like fetch, then second is we will parse, then the third step is sort. So first we will fetch the data from the CSV file, then we will parse the data, and then we will sort the data, and finally we will save the data in our database. So this is a chain of actions which we programmers are well acquainted with, or we are very much familiar with this approach. But LLMs have a different concept, because you as a programmer or me as a programmer, LLM, we have created LLM, which is a very complex program. We have created it for a specific purpose. We want LLMs to organize these actions or perform these actions. We don't want our compiler or our node compiler or PHP or any other compiler to perform this action. So actually an LLM is going to perform this action. So let me put a LLM here, and I will explain in detail how the exact same chain is handled using LLM and Langchain. So that is, I'm very sure that this concept is going to really like blow your mind. This is really a cool thing about LLM and working with Langchain. So let's talk about this. We have LLMs, and this can be like ChatGPT or ChatGPT, or it can be Llama 2. So we can have ChatGPT, we can have Llama 2. So this is our big LLM, which is sitting somewhere on the cloud, or it can reside on our local like system. And then we have this library, this exciting library called LangChain. Now, when I talk about LangChain, as I mentioned in my previous videos, that LangChain is nothing but it is a set of tools which are provided to us developers to interact with LLM. So just giving you a brief overview about LangChain. See, LLMs have some shortcomings, like they are like stateless. That is one of their shortcomings, that they don't maintain any state of their own. And then the second is we have to provide them, they don't have access to the internet, they are only having an access to what the training data or what they are trained for. So we provide LLMs with some training data, and they are trained for that data, and that's it. They don't have access to the internet, they don't have any memory. If you tell an LLM that my name is Zishan, and in the next question you will ask the LLM what is my name, so it won't be able to answer you correctly, because it will give you a message stating that I am just an AI model and I am not having any memory. So for those reasons we use LangChain. Now LangChain, what it does is, in terms of, it has lot of features, so but we are right now focusing on chain and agents. So what it does is it provides you tools, like there are predefined tools. A tool can be, it is exactly, or it is more or less very similar to an action. So we can say a LangChain library provides us developers with tools. So we have LangChain here, or let me put it here, and then we have tools. So we can have tool 1, and then we can have tool 2, and then we can have tool 3. So I'm just like exactly showing you the comparison between our basic understanding of chains and actions, and then looking at how LangChain handles actions, or how LangChain maintain its own chain, which is ultimately handled by the LLM. So what LangChain does is it only asks you to create these tools. You don't have to tell the LLM which tool to execute. For example, I'm going to ask a question to the LLM. So let me just put it, I will just put it here. So this will be a better understanding. So we'll have tools. So what will happen is I am going to ask LLM a question. So I am an end user. I have a question. So I am going to ask LLM a question stating that who is the famous person in the world? Like this can be my question. Like who is the famous person in the world? Who is the famous person in the world? So if we are asking this question to the LLM, so before we send this question to the actual LLM, whether it's ChatGPT or Llama 2, we will have to first do some pre-processing, and that pre-processing needs to be done by the AI or machine learning developer using this library Langchain. So what does Langchain do is it takes this question, like we as a developer, we will take this question and then we will define some tools for the LLM. So what we will do is we'll have these tools. So let me give you an example of tools. Let's say I will create a tool and these tools are already predefined in LangChain. So let's say we will have a tool called Google search. We'll have a tool called Wikipedia, and then we will have a tool called math. Okay, see, LLMs are created and they are very good in generative AI, which is text generation. That like they can create text. They can, you can ask them questions and they will be able to create an answer for you in a human like fashion. So you will not, it will be very difficult for us to make a difference whether this answer has come from an human or from a AI model. But they are lacking in their capabilities with regard to the access to internet. They are not very good in maths. So if you ask a mathematical question to LLM, that is not what is the purpose of LLM. So the purpose of LLM is basically for generative AI with regard to text generation. Specifically these models which are Llama 2 or ChatGPT. So they are created for chatting and for chat related applications or programs. Now in order to fix this shortcomings, what we do is we create these tools, and these are tools, and this is entire set called as a tool set. So we have a tool set which comprises of these three tools, and what we do is we don't tell the LLM that which tool do you need to use. So I will be showcasing you at the end of this video, I will be showcasing you a demo of how I have been able to achieve this using the Google Collaboratory notebook, and where you will be able to see how I am passing these tools to the Llama 2 instance and finally getting the desired outcome. So I have this question which is coming from the end user. Now what I as a machine learning developer will do is I will only define these tools. These tools don't need to be created. They are already predefined and they are available with Langchain library. So I just define them. And once I have defined these tools, I will just pass these tools as a collection to our model. So I will pass them as a collection to our model. So this is how it will be. Like I will pass them as a collection to our model, and this model will be like it will be smart enough to tell me how to use these tools. So let me just organize it in a better way so it is much easier to understand. So we'll put it here, we will put this here, and then we will create a new link here. So a question has come from the end user. We as a developer are using we have decided that we will use our LangChain library, and LangChain library we have defined three tools, and these tools will be passed as merely an array. So these will be an array of tools which will be passed to the Llama instance or our LLM. So LLM, it is the responsibility of LLM to use or to decide which tool to use for what purpose. That is the power of LLM. That is the power of Langchain and our agents. So these tools, we have basically created an agent for our LLM. So LLM, what it will do is it will basically use these tools in whatever sequence or in a whatever way it finds it better. So for example, when we have asked a question, who is the famous person in the world, so once this question is sent as a prompt to the LLM will check first in its training data. If it has not found that answer, it will first decide, okay, I have to use what tools do I have available. So I have these three tools available, so let me try to use this tool first. And if it gets the answer, it will then close the response and give us the answer back, or it will go on with the next tool, that is Wikipedia. If it has not found the answer in Google search, it will move to the next tool, which is Wikipedia. And suppose I have asked the question in this way, who is the famous person in the world, and what is his or her age. Now, if I have asked this question to the LLM, now LLM needs to use two things. One, it is smart enough to know that I have to use an internet search because I don't have this data available right now, or I am not trained with this data. So I will use the internet. And also, once I have found this person, then I need to calculate his or her age. So for that, it will use this math tool. So LLM will be smart enough to understand that I have to use this math tool to perform any calculations. So that is what is the power of an agent, or that is the power, what is the power of these chains. Now let me go back to the demo. So what I have done in here is I have this, I have created this demo in Google Collaboratory. So here what I have done, this is very, this code I have already explained in my previous videos. So I'm just defining a model here, instantiating the like libraries, then creating a basic pipeline of my own with a tokenizer. Now tokenizer is going to be used for converting the sentence or our question into chunks or nodes. And once that is done, we will have the model also defined. By the way, I will be using Hugging Face pipeline and Hugging Face environment for accessing this Llama 2 instance. Now once that is done, we have the pipeline defined. I will be wrapping my pipeline inside an Hugging Face pipeline, and then providing some extra parameters. And here is where the magic happens. So using this load tools from Langchain, Langchain agents, load tools function, I will be passing the predefined tools. So these are predefined tools for maths, Wikipedia, and this is this search, duck search. And using these tools, I'm not going to define any sequence. As you can see here, I have just passed an llama instance or model instance, and then I'm not defining, or this is not a sequence which the LLM needs to follow. It's just an array of the string, and we are just initializing our agent. And once this agent is initialized, we will be passing a question to the agent. And who is the current chief AI scientist at Meta AI? When was he born? What is his current age? So I am asking this question to the LLM, and I am purposefully asking this question because I want the LLM to first search on internet for the AI scientist at Meta AI, and then the LLM should also check for the date of birth, and it should also do some math calculations based on the current age of the person. So I know that for this query, I will need a Google or a search or some kind of a search, and then it is better to have Wikipedia also included, and then a math tool. So these are all predefined tools. By the way, we are also provided a feature by Langchain to create custom tools. And I will be providing more videos in future describing custom tools. So once I have executed this command, then I get this result, and I was really amazed by the power of LLM. So it has first, like it is like giving me a verbose answer, like it is saying I should use duck search to find the answer first. Now it has used duck search, but the observation, it did not find any answer. Then it automatically goes to the Wikipedia and searches for Wikipedia, and it has found the answer on Wikipedia. So this is how it works. It tries to use different like tools and then come up with the actual answer. So this is basically an overview of how we can use the power of agents in LangChain. And I was really amazed that we as a developers don't have to define any sequence. We just like define the tools which the LLM needs to use, and finally the LLM can use those tools and give us the observations. Now more videos on this I will be posting on my channel, and I will showcase how we can use custom tools and how we can do much more with these tools. So I hope you have liked this video. I'm looking forward for the new videos. Please do subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much.